Hello there, Codemaker4 here. This is just a quick video before the start of 2025. I want to quickly address three things. First thing I want to address is why have I been gone? Second thing is what do I think of the recent scrap mechanic update? And third is what do I plan to do in 2025? So, first of all, why have I been gone? I have been burnt out by Scrap Mechanic, I think. I just straight up did not enjoy playing Scrap Mechanic for a long while. I've been trying a bit of Factorio, but I did not enjoy doing stuff in Factorio that would fit a YouTube video. And I just happened to not really be doing any projects that I would want to show on YouTube or could show on YouTube. So as a result, there have not been any YouTube videos. I have been a little bit active in Discord, but I've a bit retracted myself a little bit from the Scrap Mechanic community. The reason I feel burnt out from scrap mechanics specifically is that I have been working on a new computer. I've been having issues constructing it. So the SMC4 is quite a POG computer if I look at the way I have been building the schematics for it. Not blueprints, schematics. I've been mapping out every single logic gate that there is going to be, or every category of logic gate of role it plays. And constructing that in Scrap Mechanic, and after constructing things that should have worked, it did not work, where I realized that I've not been properly keeping track of the things I have and haven't made, and as a result, the entire project is a bit dead. The SMC4 will be a nice computer, and I do currently plan on actually constructing it at some point. I'll be getting back to later. I've been gone because I've been burnt out from Scrap Mechanic, and the other things that you could find on my channel just kind of happen to not really produce anything worthy of this YouTube channel. Then the Scrap Mechanic update. I must say that, as I said in my Discord server the moment it launched, is that it seems extraordinarily rushed, because like either it's rushed or the developers are just straight up incompetent. There are things that are inexcusable, like on the launch day there are many workshop creations, public workshop creations, that they should have tested because they did involve wedges that did not work because of the wedges in a wedge update. It's extraordinarily weird. Second thing that was weird is that they put in, for the physics update, they put in limits on how fast things can move. Now that's a reasonable thing to do in a physics engine. However, the movement limit was about 300 kilometers an hour, which is pretty fast, but people were able to reach those speeds using intended and unintended mechanics inside of Scrap Mechanic. It's still pretty fast, so that's almost reasonable. What's not reasonable is that they also put on a rotation limit, which was actually slightly slower than the maximum speed a electric engine runs at. A vanilla ordinary electric engine at maximum speed has a higher kind of intended speed than the speed limit that they put in. Apparently they put it in for networking stuff, which just raises more questions than answers in my head, because I do not know why that would be a reason. Maybe they're doing compression, but that doesn't really make sense because you're either using some really, really small floating point unit, where if that's the limit, then oh god. Or maybe they're using some sort of fixed point format, which is weird. You should be using floats for physics stuff. I don't get it. It's either they just didn't test it or they're actually incompetent. This update was rushed. They did fix the most annoying issues in it. Specifically, the limits have been increased a lot, and the limits are totally disabled when in single player mode, and that's fine. It's a bummer that physics is now inconsistent between single player and multiplayer, even for the host. But oh well, things. Second thing they fixed is the wedge issues, of course. That's something they should have seen before launch, but it's Axolot. What do we expect? I think this is rushed. It's a coincidence that they put on a video literally the day before announcing the Raft launch to console, and the comments were filled with stuff about people being annoyed about a lack of updates for Scrap Mechanic. I mean, somewhere I would like to say, well, maybe they just quickly put together an update of two things they've already announced a long while back, demonstrated a long while back. Yes, just put these into an update and, like, the people will be happy. But I don't think they could have done that in a day, unless they, like, did emergency mode all hands on deck, which would also be a weird thing to do because we have been asking in different ways for a very long time now. the update is weird, okay, but I must say that for 2025, it does mean a few good things. A second thing related to scrap mechanic that has gotten a lot of updates is the logic tools and parts mod from some people from MTech. This is a great mod, and they are doing amazing performance stuff. So whenever I create a computer, I start with creating a logic gate budget, because not only does the scrap mechanic need to still be able to kind of run fine on my computer, it also needs to run fine on your computer, and your computer might not be as good. So I like to be a little bit respectful for those who have an old laptop, just like I used to have back in the day. So this means I start with a gate budget, and this gate budget was made based on how many vanilla gates you can have in the game. Joke is that since then, the system called Silicon, which is a way where they kind of replace some of their modded versions of the vanilla logic gates, multiple logic gates with one kind of big rectangular part. And as a result, the rendering lag is much reduced, and all of the logic stuff is completely internal to the mod, where they can do some fancy optimizations which Scrap Mechanic doesn't deploy. And as a result, the performance is amazing. I've been told you can have 100,000 gates, maybe even a million. I'm going to do some of my own benchmarking, but essentially, whenever I design a computer, because I take this gate limit in account from the beginning, it means that I designed the SMC4 for a much lower gate limit. And as a result, it will, it's so fast, it will just run out of memory. The speed would allow you to do amazing new things, but there's simply not enough memory to store the amount of code needed to do those things. It is my fear. So I'm going to be making a version with more memory. The SMC4 is an amazing architecture, but because I'm going to be changing stuff around, I'm not going to be disclosing any strict performance stuff. Another thing I'm going to be working on in 2025, probably, is maybe an updated version of Miniart. So as you know, Miniart is a system I made a while back that has been in development for years, where there's just lots of autonomous trains, pods, thingos, driving around. And naturally, this used to be limited by the old physics engine's capabilities. I'm going to be experimenting with whether or not the new physics updates can make systems like that more reliable. Maybe they make them less reliable. I've seen unpromising clips going around of trains trying to couple together. So we'll see if it's more reliable or less reliable, and we'll see if the lag is better in certain situations that allows me to be a little bit more give me a little bit more design freedom, right, with the way I design the cards. So those are the kind of things I plan to do in Scrap Mechanic for next year. Anyways, join my Discord server. I'll be hanging out there much more than here on YouTube anyways, regardless of whether or not I upload any videos. There's also some other cool Discord servers I'd like to invite you to. So there's a Scrap Mechanic Logic community, which is what's a recycled Discord server from what was left of the Scrap Mechanic Logic consortium. There's also MTech, which is where the developers of the new Logic mod are living. Amazing people are working on it. Anyways, happy 2025. I still don't really have an outro yet. So like, subscribe, I guess.